I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. It's the Monday show, and we're talking about the beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. Yeah. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Way. Joe Walsh. Anna, I almost made it through that whole thing.
You did. You did. I was really proud of you.
Yeah, when you're on the fly, and I'm like, oh, what's the one that goes with the cream stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ranch, the dill sauce.
For a little background for everybody, because I don't expect anybody to go back and listen to early episodes because we've done too damn many.
Mm-hmm.
You said we were in the garage in North Hollywood, and you said that guy, the guy. And I was like, Vinny, you're going to have to use more descriptive nouns. I don't know who you're referring to. The guy, he lives in Benedict Canyon. He's got the face. I was like, again, I'm going to need more. And then you said some other qualifying thing, but and you were very frustrated with me that I could not pick up what you were putting down. The
problem is that we were talking about a celebrity and I knew where he lived.
I know.
Trying to get you to understand.
We don't know if he still lives there. No, although that's a really nice neighborhood. He should still live there.
He was living out in a different canyon. It wasn't Benedict Canyon.
But you said Benedict.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Benedict Canyon. I was like, I don't know who lives in Benedict Canyon.
Yeah, it's like.
And it kept going. And I was so irritated with you because I was like, just say who it is. Like anything else other than the guy with the face who lives in Benedict Canyon. And now, 12 years later, I completely understand where you're coming from.
See, it happens.
Yeah. Oh no, it happened years ago now for me, but I now have a level of respect for the frustration you were feeling because those were the only words you could access at the moment. So I get it.
Look, I get how Joe Biden gets to where he got, right? Everyone,
the brain farts are real, guys.
When people go, oh, he's diminished. It's like, yeah, he's 80 something years old.
Yeah.
Right. And there you have it. He, and there's other guys like, who's the guy? Here we go. The guy that's on the left, Bernie, Feel the Burn, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. Does he do a lot of gaffes though? He doesn't.
No,
he's pretty with it.
He's like, that's the crazy thing. He's like 90, right? I mean, he's even older than that. Yeah. And he's still 100% there.
Oh, so my dad's 84 and doesn't forget a single thing.
My dad.
So is Big Al.
Yeah. My dad is 85. Boom. Everything on target.
Yeah.
Can tell you everything.
You never know. And by the way, going through perimenopause and then surgically induced menopause until I got the hormones dialed in, the amount of, we used to sing a song in this house, which was, why did I walk in this room? Because you're like, I'm going to go get the thing, or I'm going to go get this thing out of the fridge. I need an onion. I'm going to walk over to the fridge. And by the time you walk over to the fridge, you cannot remember why you walked over to the fridge. And then you walk over to the pantry, you open that, you're like, that's not what it was. And then you're like, oh, an onion. Oh, wow. I can't even remember to get an onion. Like, what's wrong with me?
As you know, my mind works very fast. So what I do is I put things in my way so that I don't forget. And
I like that trick. If I see it and it's out, it'll trigger my brain.
Yeah, I'll put it in my way to remember to do it. Right. And Serena knows to leave things. Like if I put something on the floor by the front door,
it's
not like I was being lazy. It's I'm going to be leaving in an hour. I need to go put this by the front door.
I get yelled at for cluttering. I also live with somebody with OCD. So there you go.
But that's my OCD is to put it in my way so that I don't forget it.
I do the same thing, Vinny. I've done it since school where you knew you had something important to bring in. If it wasn't right by the bed when I put my feet on the floor in the morning, I would forget it.
In high school, I did a thing. I think I've been doing a version of it my whole life where, our high school, the girls were lucky. They got to wear a uniform.
That is actually a really lucky thing. I wish we got to wear uniforms when I was in school because Lucy did it. It was great.
We wore uniforms K through 8th, but in high school, for whatever reason, our school said that every day you had to wear a pair of slacks and a shirt that had buttons on it. And, there are certain rules. So you can wear like an Izod type shirt.
Right.
Or a polo type shirt. but it had to be buttoned. It couldn't be like, it had to be presentable. And there
Would
was
would that count as a collar? You had to wear a shirt with a collar, basically.
had to have a collar. Had to have a collar. Yeah, there were certain things.
Couldn't wear like a Henley tee with no collar.
Right. And you had to have shoes. We were allowed to wear cowboy boots, but they couldn't be like work style boots. So there was some discretion there. So if they were like dress cowboy boots, you were allowed to wear them. Yeah. Right. Now that means that every day, and they did that for a reason, is like, we're trying to prepare you guys for life.
Right.
Right. You're going to have to wake up and make a decision every morning.
They also could not have foreseen the athleisure movement in clothing back then.
No. So, every night I would go, okay, what's clean and what matches? Like if you had pants that you couldn't wear jeans of any sort, most of the pants you would try to wear were either navy blue or khaki or something where almost any shirt can go with it. Mm-hmm. So my mom knew well enough to, buy these color pants. So, but still you had to kind of think about what you were going to put on the next day. And, is it going to be cold? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be super hot? What? Right. Yeah. And I remember a lot of times having to wash, run a cycle at night and then press something and get it ready for the next day. Especially when girls started mattering and you wanted girls to take notice. You didn't want to wear.
Do not wear your wrinkled old chinos.
Wrinkles would have gotten you kicked out. They'd send you home. I think I mentioned this. My brother and I used to get sent home for not shaving because
probably because you were growing facial hair and like when you were 10.
I was shaving in like 8th grade or something like that. And I didn't have a lot of zits, but I had a couple of zits. And sometimes shaving over zits is not the best thing. And we would try to skip a day, and sometimes you can skip a day. It's like, if I can go one more day, and just let this cure a little bit, let it heal up. You go to school, go home. And whatever you missed, that's why on days when you did that, I was like, okay, do I have any tests? Do I have anything where I'm going to get a 0? Because they didn't these nuns didn't give exactly one fuck. You got a 0. You showed up, you didn't shave. That's
none fucks given in so many ways.
Number one, you got to figure out how to get home, get shaven, and get back. And both of my parents were school teachers. Right. It was not, that's why you had to really play it close to the vest. It's like, all right, no pop quiz, no test. Okay, I'm going to see if I can skate. Right. And I remember begging nuns, and I would say, look, my face is chopped up. Please don't send me in. I would beg them. And sometimes if it was the cool nun, they would take mercy. And then when I would get to the next nun, a couple of classes later, you didn't shave, you're out of here. I would say, yes, but sister so-and-so, who they're going to now go be with in the convent that night. Right. We already had this conversation. She already approved. And sometimes that would work. Sometimes they would still ship you. Yeah. People say, why do you hate religion and nuns? And it's like, these are supposed to be the children of God, the daughters of God. Mm-hmm. You're
married to God.
Charitable? How charitable are you being towards the kid with zits with facial hair? Right. That's just.
The answer is none at all. Not at all charitable.
Right. No. But I wasn't trying to grow a beard. I was just trying to skate a little bit to get.
Just trying not to make your face bleed.
Oh, my brother and I would go to school with little dots of toilet paper everywhere. And it's like, rough. You're in the parking lot, pulling it off and trying to make sure it doesn't bleed again. And it was, I hate to make it sound like we had it rough. We didn't. Right. But we didn't need that hassle too. You could tell we're of Italian descent. We're growing hair quicker than everyone else. We're hitting puberty quick. Yeah. Can you give us a half a break? Nah. Just a half a break.
When you're talking about the men's pants, you made me think, I used to be years ago the voice of the regional department store Belk. So y'all out there know what Belk is if you live near a Belk. And I'm about to ruin all department stores ads for you guys. And it always followed the same format, go to the Belk one day sale. And then you do the LTOs, the limited time offers. And there are always 3 limited time offers that they talk about. Get the jewelry 20% off, all girls' dresses, kids' shoes or whatever it is. And one of the LTOs was always buy one, get 2 free men's pants.
Wait, how does that work?
So buy one pair, get 2 pair for free men's pants.
So you're getting 2/3 off, basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I finally asked them, I was like, it's always buy one, get 2. There's always one that says buy one, get 2 free men's pants. And they said it's because men so rarely buy pants.
Really?
And that they have to constantly have them marked down so that people will buy the pants and they can actually move through their inventory. I was like, oh, so now whenever you hear men's pants being advertised at any department store, you know that that's their lowest seller.
I basically don't. I mean, I have pants.
They're giving them away.
When I buy a new suit, it comes with pants because it's a suit, right? And the only other pants I wear are blue jeans at this point.
Yeah. See, my dad goes to Belk and gets those khaki Dockers. And oh yeah, he buys one, gets 2 free men's pants, and at Dillard's too. He loves Dillard's and he loves Belk.
Never, I know of Dillard's, but I've never heard of Belk.
Yes.
Okay, Anna, let's get to some health and fitness here.
Let's get to some health and fitness. Today, I wanted to bring up this thing because I know you were talking about it, about the lab cultured and grown meat. So what I've gathered is that they were trying to take cells of meat and then replicate them in the lab to create a meat product. It was legal in Singapore and for a hot second legal in the US, but it now is no longer legal in either place. And I don't know why. I would imagine because, I don't know, maybe it's an abomination. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Maybe it's not going to solve all our problems. Just a thought. But Vinnie, have you heard about this lab-grown meat stuff?
Yeah, I have. I don't know very much about it, but I did have Natalie Kvorich and Tara Vanderdusen on this past Friday show. So, folks, if you go back 2 days to Friday, or the last show we put out before this one came out, these 2 young ladies have been on the show before. Do you know who they are, Anna?
No, I don't.
You should follow them on Instagram, and you guys should probably do some back and forth type stuff.
Yeah.
Tara, I can't remember where each live. One lives they both live in the Midwest. One lives in, I think, Montana or Wyoming, and the other one lives somewhere else. But they're both young women, and with their husbands, they run Tara Vanderdusen. They have Vanderdusen dairy products, right? They have a big dairy farm.
Oh, very cool. Yay.
And she's now part of that business. Young lady, really making waves. And Natalie Kvorich, she and her husband have a cattle ranch. And somehow these 2 women became friends, and they have a great podcast together called something Ag. Let me see if I can figure it out. Ag. Discover Ag, meaning Discover Agriculture. So Discover AG, Discover Ag. And I had them back on the show. I find these 2 girls fascinating because they are fighting the good fight, right? They're out there trying to figure out why it seems like the government and everyone is against meat and dairy, right? We see this over and over and over. And I want to say Natalie was the one because she's on the beef side of things. We do know about all the reimagined foods. I did a whole thing on Beyond Impossible, Beyond Meat Impossible burgers and the whole thing. But that's made out of whole cloth. I mean, that's just fake, even the heme.
Right, that's just totally processed.
It's just, you might
protein,
as well.
Beet juice, chemicals.
Yeah.
Preservatives.
You might as well eat an Oreo cookie. You'll do better.
Sawdust, who knows what else.
Yeah. And I've done a whole documentary on that, and you guys can go watch it. It's called Beyond Impossible. Don't confuse this with that, right? So according to Natalie, this is where you take, it's lab grown, but it's germinated from an actual cell that came from an animal. And when you just on the surface, you go, well, how can how can anything go wrong with this? Well, a lot can go wrong. You can't just take cells from animals and create meat in the lab. Why would you? Right? We went berserk years ago when they started, remember, Adam, when we first started this podcast, everyone was talking about genetically modified foods, right? GMOs.
Right.
And that was with plants.
Right.
And people went nuts with that. And my thing with GMOs is, okay, they're genetically modifying organisms. Could be bad, might be bad, but we don't know. We had a lot of people come on and show, oh, this is really bad. I still don't know if GMOs are bad, because we do know, if you listen to William Davis, who wrote Wheat Belly and those type of movies, he will tell you when you start genetically modifying wheat, you're now changing the way the wheat is, and the gluten is now different. And that's when more gluten intolerance came about. So he would talk and say that it's not the grains that our ancestors had. Right.
It's a different grain that we might not be able to metabolize as easily. And also too, he's talking about when he was talking about how they're putting the glyphosate in the kernel of the wheat. So it's putting the Roundup inside, the calls coming from inside the building kind of thing.
And that, and the other thing that we do know is they germinate the stuff so that when they do put glyphosates on the product to try to kill everything else, it won't kill the product that they're trying to get to market. So do I like GMO vegetables and meat products? Not meat, but vegetables? No, I don't. I eat as natural a vegetable as I can, and I keep it to cruciferous, right? And no, I don't believe vegetables are trying to kill us. I keep saying that. People ask me on the consults daily, are vegetables trying to kill us? What about, I read a whole book on glyphosates. Guess what? Your body makes glyphosates. Almost every vegetable, every food you eat has some form.
No, nitrates. You're talking about nitrates.
No. Oxalates. I'm sorry.
Oxalates.
I'm getting all of my late.
And also nitrates, but
forget about
there's
nitrates.
more nitrates in celery than bacon, and there's a whole thing with that. Sorry.
Right.
Everything is overly discussed.
You know what? I'm conflating too many things. I meant to say oxalates. Thanks for correcting me.
And I made it worse by saying nitrates.
So all right. So oxalates are killing us. These are defense mechanisms so that plants can save themselves. I'm not so sure, right? I'm not signing off on that. I find more and more doctors are writing bullshit books because they're trying to become famous because they can't make money being doctors. In a lot of cases.
That's true. Well, also too, with the vegetables and whatnot, it's like hybrids. People have been hybridizing vegetables for agriculture since the beginning of time. Yeah. So it is a fine line to see, like, well, what is a bad GMO versus an acceptable hybridized GMO? It is tough to come up with that line of demarcation. We don't have that definition yet. I will say, being a producer of food, we're not able to get organic certified because it's too expensive. What it all involves, it would raise our prices even more than where we already are.
Right.
But we can get non-GMO certified, which says the same definition for the ingredients that we're using, really clean ingredients.
It's all just a scam and a game, as you know.
It is tough to figure out what's best. So, we're trying to position ourselves in the market where more people will buy us. That's the whole point. But we want to make sure that we're, smart about our money and not like wasting money. But it is really confusing to people.
When you talk about organic, people have been bamboozled by it. And organic does not mean that it is any healthier than non-organic at all. Not
necessarily. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
Anna, I wrote an entire book that I'll never publish because I didn't like it. It bored me when I read what I wrote. And it was 130,000 words plus or something like that. And it was a tome. And I went down the whole organic thing item for item. And the bottom line is you're just paying because you want to feel better and saying this is organic. In a lot of cases, it's not as good as the non-organic offering.
For me, it makes sense for fruits and vegetables.
But you would think.
But I know the loopholes, but you have a better chance of not getting pesticides if you buy organic. However,
No,
there's
you
still
don't.
pesticides
And
on organic stuff.
push back. I got to push back. That is not true. The government allows. So if you want to do an organic vegetable,
I said you have a better chance. I didn't say there weren't any pesticides present.
Okay, here's the deal. All right, so let's take that. Okay, here's the deal. Here's what they allow, and you folks, you can go look this stuff up, and don't go look at the first thing on Google. You got to do a deep dive into what the government puts out there. And this is, if you read the government statements, let's say you want to grow tomatoes.
Called the CFR. Yes.
Let's say you want to grow tomatoes. Okay.
Yes. Very near and dear to my heart.
Like you're gonna put tomatoes on the market and sell them, right? Not tomatoes.
I do that. That's exactly what I do.
Wait, you grow tomatoes and put them on the market?
I use organic Italian tomatoes. And the reason why I use Italian is because they don't do the same thing that they do in the US.
Okay, I'm talking about
So
the
yes.
US. So
Okay.
we're not talking about Anna's tomatoes here. We're talking about what the US allows. Okay. Each country has a whole different ball of wax. So in the US, you could take any kind of fruit or vegetable and you can put as much organic stuff on it. Now you're trying to kill certain things, weeds, bugs and what have you that might come and eat your product. Because you're using something that they're calling non-chemical, you sometimes have to put as much as 5 to 7 times as much on that plant to cause the same thing, to kill something. So you're putting all of this stuff on to kill the same thing that you were going to kill with a chemical. Here's where it gets weird in the United States. If you try X number of times and you can't get there, they will allow you to now use the chemical equivalent and still call it organic, just because you tried. That's crazy. So now you got all of those chemicals, and now you have the stuff you didn't want to use in the first place, and they'll still put organic on it at the market, and you are none the wiser, and you don't know if it was done or not. And I can't say that it's like that for Italy or Germany or anywhere else we get products. We know for a fact that we get olive oil from Italy, and it's vastly different than the olive oil here.
Yeah.
It's not even close, right?
I mean, I think that there's certain things that you don't need marked organic. For example, like when we talk to Dr. Kate Shanahan, she talks about organic canola oil just is not allowed to have hexane in it, but it's still just as toxic. So it's like, okay, that's organic. Do you want to eat that?
No.
No, you don't. I'm actually looking for the regulation in the CFR so we can actually have it quoted out here in the podcast.
Yeah, it would be good to know. So Anna, when Anna finds out, she's going to cut in with it.
I gotta say, Vinnie, my experience has actually been much different. We've had a very hard time getting certified organic. We use all we used to use all organic ingredients. Now we just use all organic Italian tomatoes. Because we couldn't get certified, we moved to other clean ingredients that weren't certified organic because it's less expensive to make it with that. But our experience was with labeling, with being certified organic, all the things all the hoops you have to jump through are very stringent and very tough. So if being a small business, that's not been my experience.
And by the way,
for the big businesses, they find the loopholes because that's
I shouldn't have used tomatoes because I don't know if tomatoes fall under the problem. I know a lot of fruit and vegetables, especially things like
I mean, if it's fruit and vegetables,
strawberries and all that, the organic strawberries and all that, they fall into that category of, because that's where other stuff is trying to eat it, right there on the ground. I'm not sure if tomatoes fall into that category.
It probably does, but
I don't know. I wish I did. So while she's looking up the CFR, I will tell you guys about the aforementioned Villa Capelli olive oil. Villa Capelli, longest running sponsor on this show. Villa Capelli, I was pouring my Villa Capelli from the big 3-liter canister into I have the 750 milliliter can is made out of the same tin, and I keep pouring into that. And while I was pouring it, I looked on the back right under my thumb, and I could see Paul Capelli, the photo of Paul Capelli right there on the back.
Good.
And it broke my heart a little bit that the man is no longer with us. But yeah, I was doing that about 2 hours ago and thinking about Paul and Stephen Crutchfield and the fact that there are good people out there making great products. And Villa Capelli is one of those. So you want to go straight to, well, you could go to VinnieTortorich.com, click on the Villa Capelli banner, or you could go to villacapelli.com, get their olive oil, because in this country, you can cut it up to 40% and still call it 100% pure olive oil. Get Villa Capelli, put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE, you'll get 10% off. VINNIE, 10% off every single time at Villa Capelli. If you want to save even more, spend more than $140 and you'll get 10% off. That's about $14. You'll be at $126 and you'll get free shipping, because anything over $125, free shipping at Villa Capelli. So 2 ways to save. Promo code Vinnie, spend more than $140 and you get free shipping. Okay, we're back with Anna. Anna, you
Nice.
seem to be.
Yes, I found the CFR, but now I'm trying to find the list. Okay, so let me read this from the code CFR 205.206, item E. When the practices provided for in paragraphs A through D of this section are insufficient to prevent or control crop pests, weeds, and diseases, a biological or botanical substance, fine, or a substance included on the national list of synthetic substances allowed for use in organic crop production may be applied to prevent, suppress, or control pests, weeds, or diseases, provided that the conditions for using the substance are documented in the organic system plan. So it has to be documented.
They have to document it, but when it gets to the store, all you see is organic, pasted onto the product.
Totally. But
right?
my question is,
All right. And so now you see, this is where I did the deep dive.
what
Now
is the list? What is
when
the
you
list?
look
So
at the
now I go
list,
to the national list.
you look at the list, and this is where you're going to have your eyes wide open when you go, oh,
That's
shit.
right.
This is after they tried everything else, put all these other chemicals. Now they're able to use synthetics. You read it right in the other thing. Now you're going to see what's on the list.
Yeah,
And
it's a
pretty
lot of
scary.
stuff on this list. I
Yeah.
don't know, and I do not pretend to know what is dangerous and what is safe on this list
When you start reading it, it's pretty dangerous sounding words. I
Yeah.
remember, look, when you're writing a book, you research as you know, you've written several. You research everything, and I did a deep. This was about 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. I did a deep dive, and I remember, like, at midnight, reading through these lists, going, "My God!" and Googling some of the words and learning where those things were. Now, no, I'm asking you to do something on the fly here.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, I found out quite a bit of information right here on the fly. I think part of the thing that's disturbing is, just like with the canola oil and the seed oils, they are considered GRAS, GRAS, by the Food and Drug Administration, which stands for generally recognized as safe. So nobody's in there asking questions or doing studies. And I think that's an interesting thought about, for example, now we have studies on BPAs and those plastics. And now, so now we have all these other things saying, hey, well, this plastic is BPA free. Yeah, but what's in it? We don't know. It's right now just under the category of grass. We don't know.
Hang on. So I've had Dr. Anthony J on this show to say, look, you'll see stuff that will say BPA free, but it's still plastic. And he said to me, the stuff that they're using instead of BPA is actually worse than BPA.
Yeah.
You might as well,
Doesn't surprise me.
BPA.
I
So,
intuitively knew it.
They just change the chemical and they put a worse chemical just right. You can print on it, hey, we're not using BPA. It's almost like you better, you might as well sleep with the enemy, right? Because the other one is worse.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
So, yeah. So the issue is, these things are under the GRAS, generally regarded as safe synthetics list. And it's too long. I'm not going to go through it and read it. But I'm sure some of them are probably fine and others are absolutely not fine. That's just law of averages would state. But it is absolutely crazy. I mean, mulch seems fine, but these sorts of insecticides, aqueous potassium silicate, ammonium carbonate, I don't know. Maybe these are fine. Lime sulfur, copper sulfate, sucralose octanoate esters. I'm sorry, sucrose octanoate esters. I don't know. What are we doing? I'm
Uh,
sure people are going to write me who are familiar with this stuff and tell me what a dum-dum I am. I'm sorry. I don't live in your world and I don't know what these things are. I don't know if they're safe or not. But here, I'm just reading some selections from the list.
okay, I just looked something up that says some BPA-free plastics is made of BPA substitutes that are just as harmful as BPA. I'm looking for the words that Anthony J used on the show.
Yeah.
There's a whole, and I said, well, what does that mean? He was like, you might as well go with BPA because what they're giving you
Well,
instead.
the irony being now you can't get anything made with BPA because it's supposed to be bad for you and nobody wants it. So they stopped using it.
Right. But they're using worse. So
I know.
now here's the deal. I was in Mammoth a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to bring this.
Your
My metal container.
metal drink container. Yeah.
Right. And I get there and it's like, shit, because I packed at the last minute. I was too busy doing podcasts and the whole thing. Well, I get there and I want to go hiking. So I went out and bought 2 48-ounce Nalgene's. And people go, whoa, Mr. Non-BPA. And there you are with the Nalgene's. Here's the deal. And it's a difference with a distinction. If you're putting water in a Nalgene and you're emptying it within 2 or 3 hours, or even if you left it there overnight, you're not leaching anything. Or if you are leaching anything, it's so little that it's trust me, you're fine. There's more chemicals in your water that are messing you up than what might be leached.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's where the problem is. When you buy water that's in a plastic bottle, by the time you get that water, it has been in that bottle for quite some time.
Sure.
It was bottled. It sat in a warehouse where it's they don't have air conditioning in warehouses.
Nope.
And what do we know about plastic when it gets hot?
Leeches.
Well, it doesn't leach, but it off gases, right? And it's going to off gas into the water, and the water is going to pick up that, that's when the leaching happens. It's like steeping, right? If you just put a tea bag in the water,
it doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Right. You got to leave it in there and let it steep. Same thing happens with this water.
Well, I got to think like in California, they tell us to have earthquake kits and we have bottles of water just sitting there. I mean, our house is temperate, but still I'm like, these are like crappy bottles of water. I guess in the earthquake apocalypse, we won't care, but.
Well, here's the deal. I have steri straws and all that kind of stuff from camping. So I can literally take water out of a ditch.
I almost bought one of those from TikTok. I was watching TikTok. They had a steri straw. I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to get one of those.
There's something called a catadine, or some people call it the cadidin. We use them when we're walking. You just scoop into any stream. And
that's
then
crazy.
You put the cadidin top on it, and then you squeeze it through the filter, and you're getting, no matter what, you won't get diphtheria. You won't get anything. Yeah. I've never gotten sick from a mountain stream using the cadidin or any of those deals. So cool. Debbie will put that in the show notes if you guys want to go get one. These things are worth it to have. But when you buy water that's sitting in plastic, by the time you get it, it's been in there for a bit, sitting in a hot warehouse, sitting on a hot truck, going to the grocery store, sitting in the back. They don't put everything on the shelves. There's stuff in the back, sitting and leaching. That's different than if you're using a bottle that you pour, you're using right now, you're done. I still don't like it. I like to be optimal, but I couldn't find one of these. The only thing I could find was believe it or not, a titanium version of one of these at a mountaineering store. And they wanted like $90 because it was made of titanium. I'm not a rich man. And even if I was, I'm not paying $90 for a freaking water bottle.
Yeah.
So I went with 2 48-ounces, and that got me through the trip. Did I throw them away? No, I kept them because at some point we're going to need those for something. Whether we're watering plants around the house, or Serena, when someone comes over to hike with us, we don't have enough things. It's there, but it's not there to use on a daily basis. The metal thing is, the glass is, and by the way, let me say this. We have the Soda Stream.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Now, let me ask you a question, Anna.
Uh-oh.
Do you have the plastic bottles or do you have
Yeah, I do.
You know, you could get the glass bottles from Soda Stream now.
Oh, that's good. I should do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we make the soda and we drink it so fast it didn't even sit in there very long.
Well,
but
that's
still,
the thing we would do. We would. My thing was make
then
it
we
right now,
put it
pour
into
it
our-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right into a glass or pour
Mhm.
it into my thing. But when I saw you can get the glass bottles,
Yeah, that seems smart.
we got 3. We got extra glass bottles.
You
We
need
got
to put that in the show notes, Deb.
yeah. You got to make sure it works with your machine. So when
Don't
you
they all have the same top, or do they not have the?
no, some of them are different depending on the model year.
Oh, okay.
So make sure when you order the glass bottle from SodaStream that you're getting the one that fits your particular machine. Debbie, put that in the show notes. But here's the deal. Now, because we have those and they're
Yeah.
glass,
Yeah.
excuse me, we can now make soda and then put it in the fridge and it's cool. It's nice and cool whenever you want it. You know, you don't have to drink room temperature all the time. So
That
there's-
is nice.
I have glass. And so, look, my favorite water is Pellegrino.
Yeah.
It comes 2 ways. It
Right.
comes in plastic and it comes in glass. Think about this. This came from an underground source in Italy. That's been sitting in a bottle for quite some time.
Right.
Gerolsteiner is the same way. That came from somewhere in Germany.
Same.
They
with
didn't
Perry.
just put it on the plane and get it to the grocery store. I think Gerolsteiner just comes in glass. But if you're going to have Gerolsteiner or Pellegrino or Perrier, anything, do not get the plastic version of it. Get the glass version. Trust me on that. You don't want that leaching into your water at all. I feel like I'm preaching a lot today, Anna.
We're doing a lot. Well, all this came from lab grown meat, which we know nothing about, and we got into stuff that we do know more about. So
Go back.
I'm glad we
one
talked
episode.
about it. Look, it's really tough because I'm trying to change. I'm basically trying to change people's opinions who have worked in food and being grocery buyers and all that stuff for their entire careers. And they know what sells to their audience. And I am in the stores every weekend demoing sauces, hearing the craziest beliefs from people about food, positive and negative, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just it's just crazy to go, okay, I know I'm up against the wall. But I also know that, like, to get into some stores, we're going to have to get that GMO certification because we cannot get the organic certification. And they even though they already have stuff that's trash on their shelves, they're not taking in new stuff without these certifications. And it's okay. You're up against a really interesting preconceived thing, and it's hard because you want to be like, no, that's actually bullshit. And you have some stuff that's organic, but it has canola oil. So I want to say, fuck off, but also carry us in your store. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's that thing.
you're going through it. For you, it's a Sisyphean effort to try to.
Well, I hope it's not, because I'm building this business very purposefully.
Oh, I know you are, but still, you're pushing a pretty heavy rock uphill, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're a small business.
Well, look at what
and-
we're doing with this podcast. That could be attributed to the same efforts.
Yeah, one at a time.
One at a time.
Especially when you have, as you know, Amazon finally wrote back to us. Did I tell you this? Do you know this?
You told me off the air, but I didn't know if you had announced it on the air yet.
I've announced it when I was talking to my new best friend, Mike Rowe. Oops, I just dropped something.
Oh, wow. That was a big thing you just dropped there.
Yeah, well, that show is not coming out for several weeks. They're deciding to hold it until September. He told me why, but I can't remember why. And they're thinking about cutting it into 2 episodes because it's
Great.
one of the longest shows they've ever done. So
Wow.
we'll see how they play that out. I would like it to be 1 episode because, but he said to me, God, what were we talking about? Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, the movie. Right?
Yeah.
He said,
Amazon wrote back saying they want a PG-13.
yeah, they wrote back. We want to, we'll put it out if you will agree to PG-13. And Mike Rowe, who's watched it from beginning to end, said to me, why? What in it? And the answer is, I don't know. And I said, Mike, when I tell people that there are forces out there that are against me, I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a tinfoil hat guy. I'm
No,
a
you're
real
really
guy.
not.
I'm a realist, right? And I look around when we call a guy at Meta and go, hey, why is it for every person I get on my Instagram, they take one away? And the guy looked at it and goes, oh, they have him locked down. And we said to that guy, can you unlock us? And he goes, I could, but I would lose my job. And I was like, well, who locked him down? Who locked me down? They was like, we don't, who knows?
He's not going to tell you that. Yeah.
But he goes, even if I were to unlock it, they would lock him. They would just lock Vinnie back
Right.
down again.
Right.
Why is Meta so scared of me? Who got to Meta and said, this guy's a problem? That's what I'd like to know. Right.
So bizarre.
I'm tired of being quiet about this stuff. I talk about it off the air, but, I sit around and go, I'm trying to put good information out there.
Yeah.
And there are people out there who are going out of their way. I was yelling about it years ago. They took me off of Wikipedia. They took me off of Serena's Wikipedia. They took me off of Donaldsonville's Wikipedia. They wiped me from Wikipedia as if I do not exist.
That is so weird.
And when I had my attorney call to go, what happened? They said, we can't prove that he exists, that he's a real person.
What?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
That was,
So I guess I've been doing a podcast with the AI bot for the past 12 years.
Apparently.
Wow. Vinnie.
Listen,
Vinnie robot, Vinnie.
But here's the thing. People go, okay, well, that happened to you. Yeah, you know what? That happened to me. But wait till it happens. Wait till they come for you. Right. The old saying, they came for this group and
they won't give me a Wikipedia page. So I've already experienced that. First woman ever to announce network television won't give me a Wikipedia page. IMDb credits a mile long. Won't give me a Wikipedia page. Right. 3 published cookbooks with a 4th on the way. Won't give me a Wikipedia page. So I get it.
What's their answer? What's their reason for it?
I never wrote them. I just haven't tried. I don't care.
Right. But that's the crazy thing. It's the old saying, they came for them and I didn't care. They came for the other ones, I didn't care. And then they came for me. Right? Yeah. Folks, you need to care about this stuff. You can go, oh, Vinny sits around and bitches about this. No, I don't. I'm doing quite fine. I don't need Wikipedia to validate me. But what I'm saying is, if it's not an even playing field, they're coming for you. You don't know when they're coming for you, but they're coming.
Yeah. Just
know that.
Do you want to talk about this other article?
I would love to.
I mean, let me look at it to remember. Oh, is this the dietitian who was fired after not endorsing Splenda-filled salads to people?
Yeah, I think that was also sent to me by the same person. I think Kim.
Elizabeth Hanna
sent me both of these.
Shall I read this from The Guardian? Or at least the first couple paragraphs so we can get rolling?
Yeah, let's hear what they got.
Elizabeth Hanna had a simple job: help people with diabetes figure out what to eat. Anyone with common sense knows this should probably not entail foods that might increase people's risk of getting diabetes, but that's not necessarily the thinking at the American Diabetes Association, ADA, the world's leading diabetes research and patient advocacy group, which also receives millions of dollars from sponsors in the pharmaceutical, food, and agricultural industries. According to a lawsuit Hanna recently filed against the ADA, the organization, which endorses recipes and food plans on its website and on the websites of partner food brands, tried to get her to greenlight recipes that she believed flew in the face of the ADA's mission. These included recipes like a cucumber and onion salad made with 1/3 of a cup of Splenda granulated artificial sweetener, autumnal sheet pan veggies with 1/4 cup of Splenda monk fruit sweetener, and a cranberry almond spinach salad with 1/4 cup of Splenda monk fruit sweetener. Guess which company gave more than $1 million to the ADA in 2022? Splenda. Hanna, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes care and education specialist with 16 years experience in the field of medical nutrition therapy, according to the lawsuit, says the ADA, and in particular Nicole Johnson, the ADA's vice president of operations for the Science and Healthcare Division, quote, a former Miss America who has traded upon the dreams and aspirations of people with diabetes to reach fame and fortune, end quote, pressured her to endorse what she believed were unhealthy and unethical claims.
Okay. Before anyone wants to get on their high horse about me and what I'm getting ready to say, I'm going to start by reading the ingredients of Splenda. Because I'm always telling
Oh, because people
people,
are like, Splenda's fine. What is everybody upset about Splenda?
it doesn't raise anything. Bah, 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 bah,
Yeah.
bah. You don't let anyone, I mean, you're bah, 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 bah. Okay, shut up and listen, everyone. Get ready, Debbie. We might have something for
Ooh, juicy.
Here are the ingredients in Splenda, the original sweetener. It contains dextrose. Dextrose is sugar, maltodextrin, 2 sugars, and sucralose, 3 sugars. Sucralose is a 0-calorie, high-intensity sweetener that's 600 times sweeter than sugar. Your brain was never meant to use Splenda at all, right? Is made by replacing hydrogen and oxygen groups on sucrose table sugar molecules with chlorine atoms. Okay. Does that sound like anything you should be putting in your body anytime soon? Anything.
I'd rather just have a little bit of sugar, honestly.
Let me go on and read more. Dextrose and maltodextrin are easily metabolized by the body and provides volume and texture. Splenda original sweeteners do not contain aspartame or erythritol. Whoop the fuck. 600 times sweeter than sugar. Our brains, our bodies, the way we came around tens of thousands of years ago was that when we couldn't find meat to eat, we would eat leaves and grass and everything else to give us enough blood sugar to continue on so that we can go kill something that we can eat.
Right.
We were never meant to even have table sugar. That's when you extract the sugar from vegetation, from fruit.
Right.
Okay? We were never meant to eat this stuff the way we got it when we started making. As a matter of fact, when sugar started being granulated and handed out, only the very rich could have it, and it was rotting their teeth.
Yes.
Because we didn't have the oral hygiene that we have today.
Correct.
Now we have something 600 times sweeter than that.
Yeah.
You think your brain is ready for that?
No.
Think again. Think again. I mean,
Stay motivated.
and stay motivated. Debbie, go figure that one out. So
Yeah,
here's
she
the
can
deal.
cut that together. Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm
here's
frozen
the
in my own thing. Okay. Thanks, internet.
If the ADA, I get where the ADA is. They're taking money from the Splenda people.
Yeah, the ADA is like a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think that's. Yeah. And so here's the deal.
I can't remember my nouns from the beginning of the sentence to the end of the sentence.
Here's
That's
the
where I am.
thing, Anna. It's the prisoners running the asylum. It's what it is. It's why nothing gets done in government, because these same people are lobbying government, and they'll just tell the government, "Hey, it's
Which is
okay."
money. It's money.
The ADA says it's good, and the AHA, the American Heart Association, they say it's good. And what do you think? A stupid congressperson? No one in Congress is that smart. If you were smart, you would never run for anything.
Well, that's true.
So I can't think of a smart congressperson. You're the biggest idiot. You probably wore the dunce hat in school because you decided to become a congressman.
Is it just? It's a high charismatic role for you D&D people out there.
So here, as they say, Washington is Hollywood for ugly people.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, they'll go to these dumb Congress people. Hey, you need to push this through Congress. Oh, we got to look into it. Well, the AHA and the ADA, they're on board. Oh, really? Well, we're on board. No problem. But what they don't look at is who's running the ADA and the AHA. It's the prisoners running the asylum. And we just let this shit go. And that's where the problem is, folks. Hear me now. Think about this later. This is a problem. And we're getting sicker and sicker by the day. 600 times worse than something we shouldn't be having anyway.
Yes. And by the way, then all these subsidies and the Splenda people giving millions and trillions and billions of not trillions, but they give millions and millions of dollars to a thing to subsidize these people so that those people will then be mouthpieces to get them to buy it. And then Splenda is all over the grocery store shelves. It's in products. It's on its own as a bag that you can cook with. It's in the baking section. It's in the cookies, it's in dressings. It's in so much, but they get to say sugar free, and it's in so many products. And by the way, to be on those grocery store shelves, you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on those shelves. And then people get upset when the newer brands, and I definitely am speaking from personal experience, when the newer brands are trying to come in and have a nice, actual, real food, high quality product, we can't afford all the slotting fees and stuff. And we're told we're too expensive. You got to get your price down. I was like, well, I don't have the money to go buy off dietitians. I don't have the margin because I'm not filling my food with junk.
Yeah.
That's made in a lab. I'm making like actual food that's cooked, in a thing. And so it is a very like, we are filled with what's the thing that you say? The cognitive dissonance. We are filled with conflicting ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm not going to eat sugar, but Splenda's okay. Well, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on groceries, but I'm going to buy a $7 Starbucks dome drink every day. Okay. It doesn't make sense.
And I think we both need to calm down. Just hang on just a second.
Oh, were we playing something to calm us down? Oh, look at it. We're at time. So.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, we're kumbayaing?
Yeah. I couldn't even put music on this.
Vinnie, you're going to love this. On the last episodes of Real Housewives of New Jersey, one of the Italian ones kept saying, we're having a kumbaya moment. And she didn't mean it, but it was the most wonderful thing.
I love that. I got to use that.
You and I are having a kumbaya moment right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to relax here. Oh, God.
Kumbaya.
Take a deep breath, Anna.
Okay. This is Vinnie's meditation. Is this your girl, Helen Reddy? Who is this?
No idea. But you know what kumbaya means, right?
I don't know.
I
we're all together now, having a good time.
It means what the fuck. Watch, try it on. Try it on. What the fuck, my lord? What the fuck?
I like it when you sing. It makes me happy.
What the fuck? I mean, that's what it means, right? I do get it, folks. I do know what it means. It means, here I am, my lord.
Oh, here I am.
Yeah, that's what it actually means. You didn't know that?
No. I'm sorry. I don't know the meaning of kumbaya. A lot of things I don't know. In fact, I don't know most things.
And I'm going to make you feel good for a second. We had last night, we did it on the 29th. We do the every other week check-in on the VIP group.
Oh my God, I knew I forgot to do something last night. I meant to dial in your call. Sorry.
That thing gets better and better every time.
It's so good.
It gets bigger.
I'm legit sorry I missed it.
It's bigger and bigger, and more people, they're not so shy about asking their questions and all this kind of stuff. It's such a thing that I'm thinking about once a month on Friday, just doing a live call-in where I do it like my buddy John Deloney does it on his show, where people can call in and ask me questions on a live call-in show.
I'm working out the deets.
I'm working out the deets because I get so much out of this, and I'm the guy leading the group, right? So, everyone's loving the group, and I'm not advertising it right now because it's not open. You can put your name on the VinnieTorres.com/VIP thing. That's about all you can do at this point.
Yeah.
And I've had enough. I mean,
I thought you said you're about to make me feel good.
That's the feel good part. You didn't like that?
No, it didn't involve me.
Can I say something? Okay. I'm going to
try to say something nice about me now.
Anna Vocino, not only does she have a great voice.
Thank you.
Hang on, Anna. I'm weaving here.
Okay.
Right? Not only does she have a great voice and a beautiful woman, because my mom always says, Vinnie, that Anna Vocino is a beautiful girl. I was like, Ma, she's already married. I can't.
And so are you.
Yeah, now I am too. Yeah, but my mom is in love with Anna Vocino. And by the way, my mom is in love with Anna Vocino's sauces. And when Marie an Italian woman, when she will use something from a jar, that tells you something.
I know that's true. I'm the
kidding.
original Italian woman using something from a jar, and it's
But
my own
Anna,
thing. I
Anna,
never
here's
thought I would see this coming. Never.
look, when my mother won't make one from scratch, you know you got something. Because she calls me and she goes, "You need to tell Anna I'm out." It's like, no, she's not there to.
She has my number. She could just call me. I'll send her stuff.
She's not out right now. She's good. Don't send her
Okay,
stuff.
I'll send her stuff.
But the gravies she uses and the powders, Marie uses it all, and she loves it. She loves the stuff.
Thank you for saying something nice about me.
Anna, listen, don't send them the Arrabbiata. They're too old for that.
I won't. No, I know better than that.
Yeah.
I don't send old folks the spicy stuff.
But when I was down there taking care of Marie during the pandemic, Anna was sending me the Arrabbiata, and I was making the crime. And now Anna calls it Bachelor Chili. You can go check it out at annavocino.com, or you could go to annavocino.substack.com.
I'm eventually migrating all the recipes to annavocino.substack.com. So they're all in one place.
What? I got to go buy a book? I got to go pay for something? No, asshole. She's got them for free. Go get them.
Or just buy the book.
Or just buy the book. Help a sister out.
You know what I'm going to do, Vinnie? From now until the next time we podcast, I'm going to write a list of all the dumb shit I've bought in 1 week. And I'm going to read it on the podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
All
like
right.
all the, I'm like, oh, I want to buy this tea from Amazon, or I want to buy this neck cream from TikTok. I'm going to write it all down. And I'm going to be honest.
Next time we do a show,
I'll say all the dumb shit I've bought for a week.
Yeah. Okay.
Not groceries, not utilities.
No, just the dumb shit.
Yeah. That I spend my money on.
Okay.
And everyone's welcome to judge me. And then I will say at the end of that, we all buy dumb shit.
Yeah. So there you have it. Except I don't.
You almost bought a $90 titanium water bottle, admit it.
I didn't almost buy it. I looked at it and went, no, to put water in.
That's like the $100 t-shirts. I just can't.
Yeah. Look.
If you wash it once, you're fucked. That's like take $100 bill and a lighter and just set it on fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Folks, Anna Vocino, go do everything. annavocino.substack.com. Go check out her books, Eat Happy 2. And she's got a third one coming out, Eat Happy Italian. That's going to be coming out. You know what to do. Go rate and review this podcast. I don't mention this very often, but you can go and, we have the Superfan page. That's how we keep the show running. I never mention that. People find it and they send us a couple of bucks. Sometimes people will send, I lost 80 pounds. They'll send me $80. That's really kind of cool. Sometimes they'll be like $5 or $10 or $15 per month. They just set it up.
Great.
Because they want to just keep giving. But that's how we keep this podcast going, folks. I don't realize any of that money. It doesn't end up in my pocket. It keeps all of this rolling. So I thought I'd mention that. On behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with just a little bit more of Mr. Joe Walsh.